these toys that you haven't heard of yet. Just wait till you see what popular toy is believed to have been used as a weapon. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are showing you 10 kids' toys with weird background stories. The Slinky. Your parents and grandparents probably grew up with that toy, and this is why they wanted to see you play with it too. The Slinky is perfectly simple. This spring can travel down the stairs step by step as it stretches and reforms itself. The Slinky can also appear to levitate when you drop it. Otherwise, it is simply a fun sensory toy to play with. It is always fascinating to see how it moves with the help of gravity and its own momentum. You might think that anyone could make this kind of toy, but it took a moment of genius to invent it. During the war in the 1940s, Richard James was working as an engineer, designing new naval battleships. This is when he accidentally knocked a spring off a shelf and it slid onto the ground. It immediately caught his attention, and he thought that this could make a great toy. He spent the 2 following years experimenting with length and different types of metal to create the toy that we all know. The reason why it was called Slinky is that his wife Betty saw this word in the dictionary, meaning graceful and sinuous in the moment. She knew that it was the perfect name for this toy. When the couple went to sell the toy a day before Christmas, they sold 400 toys in an hour and a half. There's still a way to be happy by having fun with the simplest things, no matter what is happening in the world. The Barbie doll. This toy is a must-have for every little girl, and even boys are starting to play with the dolls. Ruth Handler, Barbie's mom, was watching her daughter play with paper dolls and saw that experimenting with the future was an important part of growing up. This is why she created a doll who, unlike any other ones, was a teenager. She created a character that could be anything she wanted to be, who represented the fact that young women have choices. Barbie already tried out everything from being a mother, a rock star, a doctor, an athlete, a firefighter, and even an astronaut. But there is one other thing she did that she'll never admit to the young girls who play with her. Barbie used to be an adult entertainer. Or at least her sister was. Her appearance was modeled on a doll named Lily, based on the comic strip character of a high-end call girl. The toy was not sold to kids, but to adult men in tobacco shops and adult-themed stores as a gag gift. Mattel bought the rights to the doll and made their own version. Barbie didn't keep that doll's heavy makeup, but you can see that she still has Lily's curves and big breasts. Let's hope that little girls won't be inspired by Barbie's secret career, or that they will at least be old enough to make a mature decision if they ever want to do it. The glow stick. They are a must-have at every party if you want to make things a little more colorful. You can wear them as a necklace, a bracelet, around your head, or simply create new combinations. You can also just move them in the air to create a cool effect. But the first people who used this toy were not actually happy about it. Glow sticks were often used for government or military emergencies after dark, so if you needed to use them, it was probably because something really bad had happened. This toy was created by Dr. Edwin Chandras, a professional chemist who was always curious to find out more about chemical reactions that created light instead of heat. After leaving graduate school, he experimented with different ingredients to get that effect that he was looking for. He called it sheer luck, but we know that it was all due to his attempts. However, he didn't fill out any patent for his invention and didn't think that it would become so popular. But no matter what, now we know that his findings were the inspiration for the glow sticks that we all use nowadays. Dr. Chandras never knew that he would be the one who invented the most popular party accessory. When he found out about it, he actually laughed and said that now his granddaughter would think that he's cool. The playing cards. This toy might be cheap and really simple, but there's no limit to the number of games that you can play with it, and the amount of time you can spend with your friends. You can even have fun on your own by trying to build a tower of cards. Some people even use it to do magic tricks and for witchcraft. For more than 1,000 years, people have been finding new ways to play with these simple pieces of paper with numbers and shapes printed on it. This toy was actually invented in China before the year 1000. And then it reached Europe around the 1370s as imports from merchants. The first playing cards were hand-painted, which made them a luxury good for the richest people. King Charles VI of France was one of these lucky people who had the chance to play with it. Not only the price of the cards, but also the shapes changed when printing was invented. The shapes had to be simplified to create hearts, spades, diamonds, and clubs that we all know today. This is also the reason why they were able to make much more playing cards, and they were soon available for everyone. So even now that we're in 2017, you can still say that you play a game that used to only be for kings and members of the upper class. The Troll Doll. We all know this funny little character with a strange face and colorful hair up in the air. Kids like to create fun stories with them. Grown-ups like to collect them, and anyone who is bored likes to play with their hair. It is believed that they bring good luck, but to find out why, you'll have to wait while we tell you how this toy was invented. The toy was created by Thomas Dam in Denmark. He was often out of work, and this is when he had time to carve wood to make these little trolls. He used to give these creations to his kids, but their friends were quickly jealous, so he saw the potential opportunity to sell them. He started selling some door to door, then at a store with his company Dam Things. And soon he was spending all of his time carving these funny creatures. Dam then switched to making rubber toys in a factory, and by the end of the 50s he was selling more than 10,000 troll dolls in Denmark each year. Unfortunately, he didn't make as much money as he could, as there were many knockoff trolls on the market. The Dam company only won their patent 4 decades later. But now let's find out why they bring us good luck. The creator said that they are so ugly that you can't help but laugh when you look at them. And when you laugh, luck follows you. The Rubik's Cube. Everyone was confident when they first saw this cube. A puzzle for children should be easy to solve, right? But as soon as we started playing with it, we could see it was much harder than we thought. Most of us were only able to complete one face of the Rubik's Cube. It takes a genius to solve this kind of puzzle. And just like us, the creator of the toy wasn't able to succeed either. In the 70s, the Rubik's Cube was not created as a toy, but as a working model to help explain 3D geometry. The creator Erno Rubik called it the Magic Cube. Unfortunately, as soon as he started playing with it, he realized he couldn't solve the puzzle. He laughed about the fact that he was the one who invented a code, but couldn't even read it. And with 43 quintillion ways to rearrange this cube, we understand what he was going through. It took him a month to finally realize that he had to start by placing the corners at the right place to solve it. He had so much fun doing it that he sold the Rubik's Cube as a toy. With more than 350 units sold worldwide, it's still the best-selling toy of all time for kids and grown-ups. The Cabbage Patch Dolls. As soon as we take a look at them, we recognize these little babies with their big cheeks and frizzy hair. They were one of the most popular toys in the 80s, generating $2 billion in sales in a decade. But at the start, it wasn't about money. The Cabbage Patch Dolls were first created with love, but unfortunately, its story is sadder than you might think. Martha Nelson Thomas is the artist who created these dolls in the 70s. People who knew her described her as one of the sweetest people they ever met. She was always looking for families and friends to adopt the dolls. The toys were so popular that she was offered to sell them. But when Martha told a store owner that he couldn't sell her dolls, this man did a terrible thing. He stole her design and began making his own version. And nowadays, Xavier Roberts is still the one who claims that he created the Cabbage Patch Dolls. His toys became widely successful over the years. Parents were even fighting in stores to get this toy to make sure their children wouldn't be disappointed for Christmas. But no matter what, Martha didn't make any money from her creation. We do like the Cabbage Patch Dolls, but we think we would have liked them even more if they were made with love instead of a lie. The Yo-Yo. Every kid played with this toy at least once in their life. We threw the yo-yo and it would come back into our hand. The best of us were even able to do a lot of tricks with this toy, but we have to admit that we couldn't find a way to make it wind itself back up, so we used an electric one instead. The yo-yo was the only way to have fun. But do you know that it is believed that the yo-yo was an ancient Filipino weapon? There is no historical evidence that it was used this way, but we still think it's a fun rumor. The toy actually came from the Philippines, but was just used for fun. It was brought to the United States by an immigrant in the 1910s, and he sold the trademark to the Duncan Yo-Yo Company. At that time, many demonstrators used to tell the story of the yo-yo being an exotic weapon, but then they started working on something that was even more interesting. They improved the toy year after year so people would be able to do impressive tricks with it, and we think that this is actually a better way to win a war. We will just use a yo-yo as a distraction, and everyone will suddenly feel better. The slime. No matter how old we are all fascinated by this sensory toy as soon as we put it in our hands. We can mold it, stretch it, tear it, and make it bounce. It comes in different colors like green, blue, or pink, and we can even add different things to it like glitter, beads, or shaving cream. This toy is really simple, but that doesn't keep us from playing with it for hours. But actually, it is not as simple as you might think. Slime is a play material of a cross-linked polymer made with combining polyvinyl alcohol solutions with borat ions. You probably don't understand this, and neither do we. This is why it had to be created by a Nobel laureate called Hermann Staudinger. In the 20s, he is the one who worked on the modern understanding of polymer science. It's because of him that the toy makers were able to recreate the experiment. The first toys were made with modeling clay, and then we had the chance to play with them as silly putty in the 50s. It's only in the 80s that kids had the chance to play with the slime that we all know, the first one being sold by Mattel. The first color of slime was green, and it seems like we never forgot about this because it's still one of the most popular colors. The fidget spinners. This toy is trending in 2017. It is so popular that high schools had to ban them because it was becoming a major distraction in class. If you're still wondering what is so phenomenal about fidget spinners, it spins in our hands for seconds, and that's pretty much it. But no matter what, millions of kids and grown-ups all around the world can't keep themselves from making it spin just one more time. And unfortunately, this popularity and the ban might be keeping kids who really need this toy from using it. The fidget spinner was marketed as an antidote to anxiety, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and autism. It was made to help them concentrate in class as they had something to do with their hands that wasn't too distracting. The company also said it was a great opportunity to bring out that creative genius lying deep within them, even though we don't understand how this toy could do this. Anyway, scientists and psychologists actually said it's more of a distraction than anything else. It doesn't help people suffering from ADHD. If that's the case, the fidget cube might be more effective. So maybe the teachers were right to ban the fidget spinners after all. Do you think it helps you focus or not? Don't be shy and tell us what you think in the comments down below. And that's it for 10 kids' toys with weird background stories.